This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and all the things that we're talking about here today. So real quick one this time, but you know what? Very powerful stuff coming out, and it's all the kind of things, it's all of the things that we need to keep an eye on, right? So first we start with SBI Holdings joins Binance and Tao. That to me is huge because look, SBI is Yoshitaka Kitao. SBI is an early investor in Ripple. If you didn't know that, that's a big deal. SBI is also an early investor and a part owner in R3. If you didn't know that, yeah. And SBI is involved in well over 1,000 businesses, if not 2,000 businesses in the blockchain cryptocurrency space all across the world. So SBI is making moves. SBI is got a 50 to 60 bank consortium in Japan. And when they let this thing go and start using digital asset XRP for settlement, as well as buying, selling, using cryptocurrencies in general, I think it's going to have an enormous impact on the market. So any motion out of them is exciting. We will always keep an eye on them. They're like a lion in the bush. Now, this is a really great post from Ratha Kahneman. I got to give him a shout out because he tempers this, and I think he's wise to do so. Ripple partner Bank of America has done two interesting things today that bear watching. Launched an omni-channel approach to cross-currency transactions for trading and settling payments in 140 currencies via API, Swift, and CashPro. We're going to take a look at that link in a minute and expand on it, but I want to read the rest of his exchange because it's very well said. They've added 3 APIs to CashPro, supporting client demand for seamless FX settlement, check image retrieval, and pulling reports. Note, one existing CashPro API is for a Brazilian platform. Is Ripple or XRP involved? Without hard evidence, we must assume not. Bank of America has created an interesting corner in the payments world where Ripple could function, and given their partnership and patents, it bears monitoring for a bit to see if anything emerges. Very well said. Very well said. He says, again, my intent here is not to mine hopium, but record what bears investigation. Absolutely. And I'll tell you something. Shout out to Ratha Kahneman for laying it down like that. You know, I don't need hopium. I know what I hold. And I'm excited about it every single day. But he's right here, you know, and let's take a look at the actual link that he provided here. And this is what it shows. Bank of America is responding to dual imperatives across currency transactions, technology innovation, and client demand for improved efficiency with an omni-channel offering that now includes API, mobile connectivity. We are pleased to introduce new functionality that gives clients greater ease and control to manage their rapidly growing cross-border payments volume, said Doug Hauser, head of transactional FX and global transaction services at Bank of America. With the ability to mix and match different channels for trading and settling, we're giving companies the ultimate convenience in managing cross-currency payments. Now, here it shows the things that he highlighted here: FX trading APIs, guaranteed rates API, FX payments API, Settle API, booked FX trades, SIFIN, and then mobile access to expand cross-currency payments capabilities via CashPro. Now, what I did want to touch on here is because it does say many clients, including financial institutions, can now get direct access to more than 100 currencies and effectively trade anywhere, settle anywhere. For instance, a client could trace via API and settle via Swift, or trade online and settle via API. The pressure to have real-time information has never been greater. Paul Taylor, head of global financial institution sales at GTS Bank of America. Through our APIs and mobile connectivity, clients will now have a rate and payment statutes at their fingertips, enabling them to share foreign exchange rates with their own customers almost instantly. This is remarkable because he did also talk about the fact that there was a patent, and there was a patent, and that patent was broke by Michael McDaniel in the Digital Perspectives Telegram group. And then it was actually the Deep Dive group, I believe, and then broke into the Telegram group. And then next thing you know, a couple of days later, Brad Garlinghouse, I believe, was on Bloomberg TV being asked a question about it and had to put it to rest. And he wouldn't answer confirm nor deny rumor. But anyway, shout out to Michael McDaniel for all his hard work. Bank of America files patent for settlement system citing Ripple. And this is Cointelegraph covering what Michael McDaniel had found. And it does go in here and it talks about the fact that Bank of America has filed a patent for settlement citing Ripple distributed ledger according to a filing on Google Patents. The patent in question, the application was published June 6, describes a system using distributed ledger technology as an interbank communication tool. The proposed system would enable real-time settlement with transactions being communicated through a shared decentralized ledger which both banks would have access. And it goes on and on. I'll just read this next part. Ripple's based asset, proposed settlement gateway asset XRP, is not mentioned in the patent. Full disclosure. Right? In June, news broke that Siam Commercial Bank, Thailand's largest commercial bank, denied any plans to start using Ripple's XRP token, contrary to earlier indications. The denial came after the bank tweeted that an XRP system will be announced soon on June 5th. So, all of these things are very, very interesting. We have to keep an eye on them to see where they develop. So, Cointelegraph reported earlier this month, however, and this was an earlier article from summer. So, before, let me see if the date is actually here and available. So, it was summer of 2019. So, okay, so this is when this article came out. However, it reported earlier this month at the time, Ripple incubator and investment arm Spring, which is now going to be known as Ripple X, has distributed $500 million to over 20 XRP projects, including the blockchain-based gaming platform Forte, since its launch in May of 2018. So don't forget about the gaming industry, right? But let's move on here because this comes from Zachary Warmbrot, I believe, and he says Treasury Deputy Secretary, and it's Mnuchin, but he spells it wrong, probably, I don't know what for reason, I'll let him explain, but says the administration is studying the possibility of government-sponsored digital currency, as is the Fed. He says there are efficiency and cost benefits to using a distributed ledger, and that it's important for government to embrace innovation. Damn. Well, is this on the heels of Chris Larson's comments or what? Wow. Well, we're going to look at something that we know he has said. I tried to find the source of this, and I couldn't find the source of this, but Zachary happens to be a Politico financial services reporter, so we're going to go with what he's saying for now and try to find the original source. So there is a lot of work going on behind the scenes, Treasury Mnuchin says, but no decision yet on whether to move forward with a government-sponsored digital currency. Mnuchin says concerns that officials are studying as the Treasury and the Fed weigh a government-backed digital currency include the potential for illicit financial activity, risk to financial stability, implications for banking system and privacy. Well, I would say as far as financial stability goes, you're going to be in a lot more trouble if you don't develop some kind of digital currency for the government backed, as if you do not do it. You know, you don't want to get left behind. Mnuchin warned of potential governance problems with digital currencies, echoing concerns that have been raised about Libra. Would important decisions about our economic system have been taken out of the hands of the government accountable to the people, he said. Well, not so sure that would be such a awful idea either. They're running it into the ground just as fast as anybody else could. So, but looking back here, going back to February 12th of this year, early on, we saw that the Treasury rolls out cryptocurrency rules. The rules will improve transparency in hopes of stopping money laundering. And then we saw the backing and endorsement of the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, those international guidelines. We saw Steve Mnuchin and the U.S. Treasury come out and support those rules and back those rules. And AML, KYC for cryptocurrency became de facto standard. So looking down through this, we have to remember that early on in that year too, the current administration and Mr. Mnuchin had said over the summer that cryptocurrencies in general, specifically citing things like Bitcoin, potentially Libra, pose a national security threat. I think they have changed and pivoted since then. Again, I lean back to what Ratha Kahneman says here. All of this is exciting information, but we don't know where it goes. But you know what? I do believe, as a investor, a disciplined investor in this space, that when I see things like this, it goes on the calendar to pay attention to it. But that does it for me. That's all I wanted to do, is just make sure you had this information. Pretty exciting. The day after Chris Larson talks, it looks like we've heard something here from Secretary Mnuchin, according to Zachary Warmbrot. We'll have to keep an eye and see what develops from there. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I'll catch all of you, and share with somebody you know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.